y'all. Welcome to New Belgium. Don't be shy if you can do anything. And since I haven't done it in 16 months, I'm going to propose a toast. Take my sunglasses off because they are prescription and I have forgotten those. So I see some of you, but I envision most of you. So much love to everybody here. Welcome to New Belgium. Cheers. Cheers. I'm not going to sing. Am I good? All right. You're good. Much love, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We were hoping for a song, but I guess that's not going to happen. So I've only been on the Blue Ridge Pride board for about 10 months now, and was really lucky to fall in under some amazing leaders. Among those is Butch Thompson, who is the president of the board, and I'm going to recognize him now for remarks.
Thank you, David. Thank you all for being here. It's a wonderful night, beautiful. Thank you, New Belgium. We love New Belgium. They are great community partners, not just for us in Asheville, but for a lot of other organizations in Asheville, and they really stand behind what they preach, and that is brewed for all and inclusivity. So thank you. Just a brief thing, Blue Ridge Pride, you know, a lot of people say, it was a festival. It was. It started in 2009. Now it's an organization that's growing leaps and bounds. We have different programs. We're capturing stories for our oral history project. We are working with the elders in our community to bring them up and give them some more things to do here in town. We've got our virtual center going on. We're entering this business alliance business, and I can't keep up with it all. You know, it's been fun. It's been great. I have some great team members around me, including David, Dylan, these guys, Blair and Dave, a lot of people on our board and our volunteers. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and enjoy your time. And if you have any questions, I'll refer them over to Tina.
Thank you, Butch. Also here from the board is Michael Hoven, who is the vice president of the board and the director for community. What is it, Michael? Okay.
Community Service Partnership.
Community Services. There we go. So when I retired and moved to Asheville a couple of years ago, I knew two things. I knew I was really happy to be coming home to North Carolina from Atlanta after 20 years. And I knew that I wanted to start an LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce for Western North Carolina. So then comes a call from my friend Chad Turner, and he says, hi, we're licensed to be the chamber for Western North Carolina, and we're forming a Carolinas LGBTQ chamber. So it wasn't exactly the way I had planned it, but in reality, it's going to be so much better, because not only are we going to have a Carolinas Chamber affiliate here in Western North Carolina, we're going to have a Blue Ridge Business Alliance, which will work in tandem with it. So we're going to be standing on two legs instead of one. And it's my pleasure to welcome our friends from Mecklenburg County, from the Carolinas Chamber, and the president and executive director, have I got that right? Chad Turner.
Thank you. My name is Chad Turner. I am the president of the Carolinas LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And to give you some history, in 1992, some guys got together in Charlotte that owned some businesses, and they formed what was then called the Charlotte Business Guild, which was a safe space for LGBTQ folks to be able to network without people knowing they were LGBTQ. They had events all over the city. Some businesses threw them out. There was letters sent after people found out that they were gay, and they were told not to come back and they couldn't do business there anymore. And so fast forward a few years, the Charlotte Business Guild became the Charlotte LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And then most recently in May of this year, May 6th, we became the Carolinas LGBT Plus Chamber of Commerce, which will represent the 50 counties on the western side of North Carolina and most of South Carolina, respectively. One of the most important things about our chamber is we have been on the forefront of ensuring that we've diversified our chamber. One of the worst things that I had to do was go speak at UNC Charlotte's LGBTQ young persons career convention. And in speaking to them, I asked them, I said, well, what do you know about the Charlotte Business Guild? And they said, it's a bunch of white people that get together and drink. And I looked at that and I said, we really have to do some things here to make sure that we have representation from trans individuals, from people of color, especially those marginalized within our own marginalized group. And so we worked really hard, and we have a board of 15 members that look just like our community. If you get by the table today and get one of the pamphlets, our board's in there and their information, as well as trans individuals being represented and working with trans individuals to make sure that not only are we putting LGBTQ people that look like me in the forefront of getting procurement and contracts and at the table in these large corporations that you see listed, but also making sure that there's trans and people of color represented in those groups as well. You'll see the percentages we have by the numbers in our guide that almost, I think it's 38 or 40% of our chamber is actually black and brown. And that's very impressive considering where we came from 10 years ago. Today I have with me Brian Van Heisty, who is on the executive board. He's our director of finance. Jen Carbuto, who is a vice chair, and she is also the person who created our wonderful logo and all of our marketing. And then Nate Turner, who is over supplier diversity and does our site visits for the LGBT Business Enterprise Certification. There's three things. You say, why should I join the LGBT Chamber of Commerce? Because I've been a member of this chamber, and I've been a member of this business group, and I've been a member of that association. And you kind of think of those things as like gym memberships. You get in and then you forget it's there, and then when it's time to renew, you don't even know why you're renewing because you didn't get your value out of that. Three reasons why with the Carolinas LGBT Chamber. The number one reason is we open you to a broader network of businesses that are both LGBTQ and also allies. So you're strengthening that network for advocacy, for policy development when it comes to city councils, county commissions, the state legislature, our federal officers, everyone across the board with elected officials we are in constant communication with through our policy and advocacy work. Number two, you get access to a network of corporate partners that are also interested in spending money with LGBTQ-owned businesses. And then number three is if you're an ally, you can show your allyship by being a part of these discussions and being that ally at the table with us and ensure that there is equity, diversity, and inclusion across the board. We do a lot as a chamber. If you get a chance on your social media today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think we're on LinkedIn. I have to remember all those things. They're down at the bottom of the banner. And also visit our website. Memberships are, you can join as a professional. If you're a member of a BRG or an ERG of your company, or if you're just a professional that works for someone and is interested in networking and working with the chamber, you can join as a professional. You can join as a small business, which means you are under 5 employees. You can join as a mid-sized company, and you can join as a corporation. We are so excited about our partnership with Blue Ridge Pride, and we are extremely excited to have an organization that's going to be powering our organization. And so we're going to lift each other up. We're going to work with the Alliance. They're going to work with us. We're going to ensure that in tandem that we're doing things that further equity, inclusion, and diversity within the marketplace and the workplace here in Asheville. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. So now we're going to have the ceremonial signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Carolinas Chamber and Blue Ridge Pride. So Bruce, if you would come up. Butch, you would come up. And that's my first beer. I mean, come on. And Brian Yamastay, is that it? Yeah, nice. Okay, all right.
I remember when I had my first beer.
We'll use the very formal head table, which I think is a bussing tray.
Yeah, with a sharp.
There we go. It's official.
Now, if someone would like to sing the Star Spangled Banner. So, before we move into the last phase of the program, I want to recognize everyone here is special, but there are some special people that we'd like to recognize. Kit Kramer with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. We were talking earlier, and we're looking forward to working really closely with the Asheville Chamber to build some robust programs, and we have a lot of things in common, obviously, so we're going to work toward that. Allison Scott, Campaign for Southern Equality. Allison. There you are. Vic Isley with the TDA. Don Kaiser, who is actually my new neighbor down the street and is also with the Human Rights Campaign Fund. And I don't think Ed McMahon has shown up? Nope? Okay.
Manning.
Huh?
Manning. It's my fault.
Yeah, you did say
I had
Ed
my
McMahon.
first beer
Thank
today,
you.
too.
You can't get good help these days. Anyway. You know, I think we would be really remiss if we didn't recognize the fact that 52 years ago today, a group of individuals at a bar in New York refused to take police harassment any longer and basically had an insurrection. Probably not the best word, but they fought against the police.
The best insurrection.
The best. They fought against police, and they claimed the right to be their unique selves. And you know, we all stand on their shoulders. And so I think that we need to remember that. Look where we've come. I mean, my gosh, it's just amazing to me. I mean, I remember being a kid afraid to tell anybody in the 70s, and but anyway, I'm very proud of our heritage. I'm very proud of what this group has done, and I'm very proud of Asheville and what an amazing, welcoming city that it is. I think where I am. So we've selected two individuals that will be heading the two parts of Blue Ridge Pride's business initiative, or Blue Ridge Pride's business programming. And I'd like to introduce them to you to talk just a little bit about what their plans are. The first will be Chris Tinkler, and Chris is the new director of the Blue Ridge Pride Business Initiative.
So a little backstory. About 2 months ago, I texted Butch or emailed or messaged Butch. I was like, can I get involved with Pride? He was like, yeah, sure. Met at Banks, had a beer, started talking about stuff, and all of a sudden, like, I'm involved with Pride 25th. Then I start talking a little bit more. I open my mouth. I say, no, I like to work with sponsors. I like to work with businesses. And they're like, wow, we got this thing coming up, this business association. You want to be director? Sure. And here I am. So the goal of our association is to really work with the businesses that are owned by people of our community and our allies to form an alliance, to discover what we need. Our first step will be to create a directory. Our goal really is to create this from the ground up. We're going to work with our businesses that sign up, start off with, and find out what you need, how we can help you, what really works for our community. Asheville is unique, and our association needs to be unique like Asheville. I'm not going to talk a long time. There's not a lot to say right this second. We want you to go to the website, blueridgepride.org/business, sign up. Let us know what we can do. We've got a few businesses there already. And if you need me, I'm here, Chris Tinkler, and I'm good. There we go.
Thank you, Chris. And I have promised Chris that I would have these great little business cards with QR codes on the back, and I printed them. The first one smeared. I put them out on my deck in the sun for 4 hours. I blotted them with paper, and they still smear. So anyway, blueridgepride.org/business. It'll get you there. We'll send everybody a link to it so that you can pass it on to businesses you know, or sign your own business up. The second leg, of course, is our local affiliate of the Carolinas LGBTQ Chamber. And I'm proud to introduce Dylan Lennon, who is going to be heading up that effort.
So, I haven't met a lot of you yet, so please afterwards say hi. My name is Dylan Lennon. I have a similar story to several of the folks here. I emailed Butch, I think 3 months ago, and asked him how I could be involved with the chamber, and he connected me with David, who was already in the throes of working towards making a chamber a reality for Asheville and Western North Carolina. So the main thing that I want to say, I'll keep it very brief, is that these folks have been working tirelessly for days and months. Chad, the Carolinas LGBT Chamber, David, Butch, Tina, to make today and to make what's coming possible. So without what they have been doing, none of this would be a reality. And so the idea for the Asheville Chamber, there's a lot of groundwork and foundation that's already been laid. I think that one of the things that is in our face here locally right now is that our chamber needs to reflect the perspectives and the characters and the different ideals of the Asheville community. So I think one of the first efforts that we'll have is such that the board and the membership is reflective of Asheville. I'm super excited for the partnership. I hope that you guys will join us and make this a reality. This is Asheville's chamber, so you can go to the clgbtcc.org for more information, and if you have any questions, just talk to me afterwards.
Thank you, Dylan. And what Chris and Dylan didn't tell you is don't email Butch. Under any circumstances. I was talking earlier about standing on people's shoulders, and this takes nothing away from the amazing men and women that are on the Blue Ridge Pride board, but I learned pretty quickly after joining this group that the real transformation is due to our executive director and Tina White, who I've never seen anyone work this hard, particularly not getting paid a dime to do it. We're an all-volunteer board, all-volunteer organization, and Tina puts in, I have no idea how many hours a week.
Ask my wife.
Ask your wife. It's the transformation in the organization, I think, can be laid at her doorstep. And so I'd like for us to give Tina a round of applause. And Tina, I know you don't like to speak, but if you have anything you want to say.
So it was 1978. I was down in the stacks at the library at my university, and I was thinking of becoming either a minister or a teacher. And then I read this passage that changed my life. It was Peter Drucker, who was back then the management guru. And he said, for better or for worse, corporations are the most important moral force in society. And I went, whoa. But what he meant was that whether we like it or not, increasingly, as corporations played a greater and greater role, they determine how people, what they're paid, how they work, whether our air and water are polluted. Corporations, if they're not governed well, will sink society. And that changed my entire direction of my career. I said, I want to be a corporate doctor. I want to make corporations live up to their potential because I think they're an amazing engine. Let me skip forward to today. Yesterday I was with some queer artists, and one of them very proudly told me that, I want you to know I don't charge much for my art because I feel that's capitalist. And I said, dude, you're selling, that's labor, you're labor. You're giving away your labor, you're not giving away your capital. And they went, wow, and we had a long conversation about that. Lenoir-Rhyne, in partnership with Aisha Adams. How many people know Aisha Adams? You all have to know Aisha Adams. What a force. She has built on her back this entrepreneurial institute for minorities here in Asheville. And it really is designed around them, where she went and said, what do you need to know? It's not, what do I want to teach? And in working with them, in a variety of sessions, I just learned, like, it was news to them, and welcome news. They just really hadn't grasped the idea that if they want the LGBT community to buy from them, they need to make sure that we see ourselves in their advertising and their marketing. And it was just a divide that, because we are so siloed, and I mean not just LGBTQ, but all of our communities tend to be siloed. We need to work with each other a lot more. I was talking on Saturday with some self-described radical anarchists. I've never heard those two words together, but they explain that, well, we're not Maoists. But when we got past the labels, it really was a wonderful, heartwarming discussion. What I realized was they're just suspicious of hierarchy, and it hasn't served them well. And they're asking some good questions. I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago. UNCA has a leadership program for 501c3 directors. And we were all talking about how inundated and demoralized we feel with email and with other issues. And we realized, are we really sure that we're prescribing the right model? And maybe these younger people that we complain about are onto something. And I wanted to bring all that up because I want this alliance to serve the people here, to serve our businesses, but I also want our businesses to serve, and when I say our community, I mean the whole community. The two groups, we invited YMI and Ola Carolina to be here. They just threw their festivals, they're a little tired. I had all their tents dropped off on my front lawn today, but we need to work together. And we need to spend time together, so I hope you all will think of ways. Go get involved with Lenoir-Rhyne, with some of these entrepreneurs who, it was clear to me, they really have the heart, they have the ideas, but they don't have a lot of the assets that we've been blessed with. And so I hope that this alliance not only serves our business community. Allison back there, CSE offers training now for any businesses that want to know how to handle the non-discrimination ordinance. We really want to work very creatively with you all to both promote Western North Carolina, to promote your businesses, but to also to lift up all our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. One of the things that Tina's been working on tirelessly for some time now is creating a virtual Western North Carolina LGBTQ community center. And we don't really have much money for programmers, so she stays up all night programming this stuff. And we are, what, version 1.0? Is that
6.9.
6.9, she said. Part of that is, of course, the online LGBTQ and allied business directory that was mentioned earlier. I would say it's going to be 0.101. It just kind of, Tina refers to it as a baby, and it's a little premature. But it will get better as time goes on. If you register your business in it, please give us feedback about how we can make it better. We want it to be a real asset, not only for the businesses, but for the community. I know when I moved here, I was looking for a dentist and an insurance agent, and there's my insurance agent in the back. It's hard to identify businesses that are welcoming and places that we're gonna feel welcome. So look at it, sign up for it, and then give us feedback. Before we close, Butch has an announcement.
Thank you all again for being here. David, thank you to you, your team of gang. You're wonderful, and you're really doing a great job with this program. I'm proud of you. New Belgium, being the wonderful company they are, they want to send you home with a pack of their seltzer. And when you leave, if you will see Lauren, who's in the back of the room waving her hand, she will be up at the bar and she will be glad to give you that. Take it home, share it with your friends and family. I can tell you it goes pretty well with Cheetos vodka. So that's good. Thank you all again for being here. Don't feel like you have to leave. Eat some food, use your tokens, and enjoy your night. Thank you.
Because the other